You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Thursday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Game 3 for the Leafs and Sens goes tonight, and I'm really interested to see how many Leaf fans are there, because if you don't know, the Ottawa Senators tried to do a thing where they were like, we're only selling tickets to Senators fans. So they had people do, advanced purchase of season tickets for next year to get early access, and then when they went on sale to the general public, they only put out 500 tickets for each game to the general public.
I mean, obviously, I think the Senators would like to have a majority of their fans there, but also, there's no questioning that they use this as a way to sell season tickets for next season, which good for them. They already have made their money. If I'm a fan, even if I have tickets to today's game, I'm a diehard Sens fan, have been since the team came back to town. You could probably make a lot of money
over everything, right? Yeah.
In this economy, even as a fan, it's really hard to turn down some of the offers I'm sure they're getting today.
Even I went to the game back in, February there, and the tickets that we got were someone's season tickets, and the guy in front of us was literally like, it's ridiculous how many of these season seat holders sell their tickets to Leaf fans, and it's like, yeah, I mean, we're going to pay more just to fill up the building, and every Senators game is always a home game for the Leafs anyway. So.
That's just it, and honestly, think about it. If you are a diehard Sens fan, you buy a 41-ticket season ticket package. 2 of those games, right? They play the Leafs at home twice?
Yeah, usually. 2
of those games, you could probably sell those 2 to 4 tickets that you've got for the season to pay for all the other games you get to go to. How do you say no to that?
I mean, at the end of the day, too, the Canadian Tire Center should just be happy. It's nice to sell out a game for once.
At the end of the day, you're 100% right. There will be fans in seats, what a lovely change of pace.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We've all heard of Slipknot before, right?
Well, sure, yeah, one of the most famous bands out there.
But have you heard of Stripknot?
I haven't, but I'm excited to learn.
I got this ad somehow pop up on my Facebook yesterday. There's a traveling group of gals that go through the UK.
Okay.
Well, they're strippers, but they dress as Slipknot, and they exclusively strip to Slipknot songs.
The full gear, the masks, the
jumpsuits and everything, yeah.
Wow.
They call it a visceral fusion of metal and sensuality.
Visceral is probably the right word.
And they just tour through, strip clubs out in the UK.
I mean, I kind of love the idea of just, a traveling show, right? You go town to town, you do the bit. It's not a last forever. If you heard a place in town was doing it every night, it would get old, but it's like old Carney-style wrestling. You come to town, you make your money, you move on to the next place.
I never would have thought Slipknot and motorboats go together, but I mean, it kind of works, I guess.
It's a lot of up-tempo songs. There's a lot of bass. There's a lot of tempo.
I just wonder if, when they're on stage, do they do the whole gimmick of, you know how Slipknot has the guys who are, banging on the kegs and stuff?
Yeah,
do they have the girls doing that?
Well, I would assume that they're banging on something. I don't know if they've got, drums and kegs.
Do they have the one guy dressed as, is it Sid with the long nose? You're getting a lap dance and that's in your face?
Do you think, because, they're coming up on stage with, the jumpsuits and everything, and obviously these are strip shows, so those are going to get peeled off. Do you think that, the third song culmination, the masks come off, or do those stay on the whole time?
The masks have to stay on.
I feel like that
Slipknot never takes off the mask. It would
be really hard to concentrate down the end if the masks were still on.
I love me some Slipknot, but it might be the weirdest music to get horny to, just having this play.
There's a lot of testosterone in the room for a variety of reasons.
I just can't imagine making love to that song, you know?
It's hard to keep up the pace, that's for sure.
Or you're just getting it on to I push my fingers into my eyes.
This song always does something for me.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We were talking about the worst songs to get it on to. A lot of people texted this. It's just creepy as hell, dude.
Honestly,
if you have this on a playlist, straight to jail.
That's just it. Is yes, this would be weird if you were with someone and it came on the playlist while you guys were getting
getting murdered if that comes on.
If we're just sitting on the couch talking, having a perfectly platonic discussion, and this comes on, I have problems.
We got friend of the show, Robin, on the phone. What do you think, man?
Oh, probably I will remember you if he's an absolute rocket. Oh, yeah.
I do not want to think about sad dogs when we're in this particular moment.
Cue it up before sex and give her the sad puppy dog eyes.
That's
If you haven't gotten any in a while.
This is the nuclear option when she says, I think I'm just going to go home for the night.
I think it's a wrap, boys.
By the same token, by the way, In the Arms of the Angels, also a hard no-go.
Oh, yeah.
If it's African orphans or if it's lost dogs, either way, don't bring it into the bedroom.
Terry texted in this one.
Don't want no short man.
Oh,
That just stings.
Don't want no
here's the thing.
short man.
I think there's layers to that one. Because if it just comes on the shuffle, it probably breaks up the moment of like you're laughing, like, wow, that's funny.
I think that's a mood killer.
If she puts it on specifically, chooses the song, then it's devastating.
I think a few people texted in this one. I mean, if you're cheating on your spouse, maybe it works, but
Oh, God.
there's so many people that think this is a romantic song.
Anything sung at this speed must be romantic. No, it's a bad song about bad things.
One of my favorite ones is people texting in Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Just imagine trying to keep pasting. Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah, it's going to be over pretty fast. All right, we'll take one more call. We got Shannon on the phone. Shannon, what song would be the worst to get it on to?
Sharon, Lois, and Bram.
Oh, just a
specifically.
little something like...
Skinnamarink dinky dink, skinnamarink doo.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, hang on. This isn't doing it for you guys?
Skinnamarink dinky dink.
All of a sudden, your Spotify playlist kicks into all the music that your kids listen to.
Oh, God. Just some Cocoa Melon.
Oh, dude, even if like Baby Shark kicks in the middle of it.
I mean, you got to get up and go, right? Firm handshake. Sorry, we'll try this again another time.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I didn't mean anything by that.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
We've been laughing our asses off at this. Well, not at the fact that the Pope died, but apparently you can bet on the next leader of the Roman Catholic Church. Yes, you can actually gamble on who is going to be the next Pope.
The best part about it is there's no funny option. Like, when you told me about this morning,
It's not a prop bet thing.
the first thing I said was like, oh, who are the long shots, Logan Paul? No, someone from these betting websites, someone in Vegas, went and did the research on all the leading candidates from Christianity to become the actual next pope, and you can throw down a full paycheck on it.
They have like legit odds for all these different cardinals. Like it's crazy. They say that the cardinal with the best odds right now is Pietro Parolin with a 4-1 odds right
Wow, okay. So that's, I mean, hey, listen, that's pretty good odds. You could make some money on that.
there. Meanwhile, Peter Erdro has the least amount of odds. It's 7-1 right now.
You know what the funny thing is that all these gambling websites and apps and organizations and stuff like that, what's the number one thing they put on there to try and make everybody feel better? Gamble responsibly. Bet responsibly. If you are betting any amount of money on the next pope, you are not gambling responsibly. You have a problem.
If you win, though, God is on your side.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
According to science, they say that the key to a happy, long-lasting relationship is farting around each other.
I mean, honestly, that makes a lot of sense.
Studies show that many partners reach a level of openness within the first few months if they start tooting around each other alongside of like other milestones. They say more people that fart around each other, the earlier you fart, the earlier you actually are to say I love you to one another.
I mean, it shows the level of comfort with another person. You're not worried that you expressing a little bit of gas is going to drive them away from the relationship.
I think it's a safety thing, too, because, you know, there's no fear of judgment or anything. It's a huge comfortability thing as well, right?
That's just it. As soon as you can safely fart in front of one another, you have reached a level of bond that honestly not every relationship gets to. You should be proud of that.
And I think it's once you start doing that, then you can kind of really start to be yourself. You can be really silly, right? And like that's when you get to see someone's true form come out.
That's just it. I mean, honestly, what this survey should say is the key to a long-lasting, healthy relationship is just being absolute idiots in front of one another, farts included. Once you can hit that level of I'm comfortable in your presence, you will do amazing things.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of times when you're in an early relationship and you're like, oh, I love the way that they smell. You need to enjoy the smell of each other's farts to really get over the hill.
What's the line in the vows? In sickness and in health?
Yeah.
In pleasant sense and foul odors.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
Janine, in your opinion, what is the key to a healthy, long-lasting relationship?
Well, my opinion is that you don't have to always be happy in your relationship. You can disagree. When I asked my husband what he thought the secret to a happy relationship was, he looked at me and said, "Yes, dear."
That's it. That's it right there. As someone who is currently doing renovations on their house, I have learned that yes, dear is the answer to everything now.
Actually, after 40 years of marriage, renovations on the house, I decide what I want. If he can do it, he helps me. If he can't do it, he walks away.
God, are you just married to the smartest man of all time?
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, he's learned, like I said, 40 years together, and we've had our ups and downs, but yeah, he knows when to walk away.
He's a well-oiled machine. He is. That guy's got to write a book.
All I know is that there are a lot of women out there that would pay to have that kind of training for their husbands.
Mm-hmm. Someone else texted in and said, my dad gave me the best advice. He said, don't say the first thing that comes to your brain. Don't say the second thing that comes to your brain. But say the third thing that comes to mind.
You got to let that initial response, that's never going to work. You shouldn't say the first thing in your head to anybody. Even the second one. If that's a person you love, it's probably still dicey.
You got to let it pass through the House of Commons of your brain there first, you know?
It's got 3 readings minimum before it gets passed.
I do like the person who texted in saying a king-size bed is the key to a healthy relationship.
I would say bare minimum is a queen. Like if you're 2 average-sized people who can fit in a queen bed, that's good. King-size bed, especially if you don't have pets or if you do have kids, just something that you can put a barrier between the two of you for the night.
Well, even that way, you don't have to sleep on the couch. You have enough room that you won't be touching each other to piss each other off if you go into bed after a fight, you know?
And king-size bed, separate blankets.
Separate blankets.
Separate blankets or else you are screwed.
Absolute game changer. All right, we got one more call here. In your opinion, what's the key to a healthy, long-lasting relationship?
Go in debt so she can't leave your butt. Then
gotta lock her down with the crippling chains of fiscal responsibility.
Yeah.
Who needs a prenup when you're broke, right?
That's right.
My love, I present you with the greatest gift I can offer. 50% of my debt.
Yeah. Here's my mortgage. Here's my truck payment. Here's my sled payments. Here's everything coming at you. I love you.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
It's a great time to be a sports fan with the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs going down. I mean, baseball's in full effect right now. Did you see the guys dressed up at the Indiana Pacers game the other night?
No, I haven't watched any of the basketball playoffs
So the
yet.
Pacers are playing the Milwaukee Bucks, and in Indiana, a bunch of dudes like filled up courtside, all dressed in hunting gear.
That's very funny.
I know, I love that so much.
Were they in camo or high vis?
A mix of both.
Perfect. That's exactly what it should be.
Like the camo with the orange vests and the hats and everything. Yeah.
Oh, God, that's going to be so distracting for the players to be out there and like, you just constantly want to be looking over like, is this happening?
I never thought about doing something like that. I mean, dude, if I ever go to see the Ducks play against the Leafs, you could do the exact same thing. You could just wear the hunting gear, show up.
Absolutely. One of you could show up with the stuffed dog from Duck Hunt sitting on your lap.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of teams that you could do. I mean, if you go see the Marlins play the Blue Jays, you show up in all like fishing gear.
Oh, that would be good. I mean, probably tough to get a rod into the building, but you could find a way.
You could bring a tackle box in, probably.
Yeah, that's it.
The little hat and stuff, the vest and everything.
You could eat nachos out of it.
Yeah. Go and see the Detroit Lions play, just dress up as poachers.
or a circus ringmaster.
Yeah.
It's got a little whip.
Going there. If you could dress up in some sort of costume to watch a team play, what would be the best costume to wear?
Do you think it would be difficult to get up a group of people to go to Ottawa and dress as Canadian Tire leaf bags for the game?
You know what? That would actually be pretty funny.
That would be really good. I think that would distract a lot of guys.
Either, you know what, or do that or wear the golf apparel because everyone always makes the joke about the Leafs golfing.
Sitting there in full-on Titleist visors and polo shirts.
Yeah.
See you soon, fellas.
Yeah. Or if the next time the Sens are playing in Toronto, you wear like, hi, my name is, I'm a Sens fan. Like,
well, no. The costume should at least be believable.
Yeah.
I would believe more that you're a circus ringmaster than a Sens fan.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
We got a lot of great suggestions of costumes you can wear to different sporting events. Someone said that if you're watching the Calgary Flames, like the Leafs play the Flames, you dress as firefighters.
Yeah.
Go to like a Raptors versus Bulls game, dress as a Matador or something.
That's anything you can do to get into the minds of the players psychologically.
We got Roger on the phone. What do you think, man?
Oh, definitely got to dress as a Grand Wizard for watching the Wizards play.
See, that would work if you were supporting the Wizards. Like if you were a fan, you could go dressed up as like a bunch of like Harry Potter characters or something like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're going to go and like cheer against the Wizards, kind of like what we've been talking about, you got to go dressed as, what's the bald freak?
Voldemort?
Voldemort.
I think that could be construed as some sort of illegal group nowadays.
Just cursing the team the entire time. We got more great suggestions on the text line here. Someone said for the Florida Panthers, you could dress up as a pool boy ready to slay a panther.
It's more of a cougar thing, but I like where your head is at.
Someone said Leafs playing the Devils or whatever, you go dressed as priests or the Pope.
Oh, like you're performing an exorcism in the front
you have
row.
Holy water the whole time. If you sat behind the bench of the penalty box,
just start spraying water over the top. Although we've seen players try to get out of the penalty box to fight fans before.
Go to a Red Sox or a White Sox game dressed as a dryer.
That's fantastic.
You always lose your socks in the dryer.
Go to a Giants game dressed as David from David and Goliath. You've all just got those spinning slingshots. You never throw them, but you're spinning them.
Go to a Nashville Predators game dressed as Chris Hansen. Have a camera guy with you and you just like take a seat.
Every player that comes by, hey, why don't you come over here and take a seat?
I love that one. Or the person that said go and watch the Tampa Bay Rays play and dress as the ghost of Steve Irwin.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
Yesterday we were talking about like themed weddings and stuff.
Oh, yeah, with all the WrestleMania ones.
Well, Cannibal Corpse, like the metal band, was playing a show in Pittsburgh earlier this week, and a couple actually had their wedding ceremony in the middle of a circle pit.
Really?
Look at this. Everyone doing the circle around them.
That's so cool.
They've got someone officiating the wedding there. There they are, sealing it in with a kiss as the band's just rocking out on stage.
You may now elbow the bride? Like, how do you seal this one?
And then they just hang out in the pit afterwards.
That's amazing. I'll say this, other than it just being like a really cool moment and a memory that they'll have for the rest of their lives, probably a really cool memory for the band. Great way to get free drinks at the concert.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody in that pit's going to buy those two a beer now.
I wonder if they lost their rings in the pit, though.
Dude, imagine when they're like, take this ring, put it on her finger, and someone comes in and just like kicks it up.
Yeah.
This is the Brock and Dobby Podcast.
What makes an astronaut? What makes someone an astronaut? That's the question I want to ask him.
I mean, well, you got to go to space.
But is that it? Because that's the debate right now. Apparently, I don't know if Katy Perry said that she was an astronaut or implied that she was an astronaut, but the internet is very divided on whether or not she is.
I take back what I just said.
In fact, an astronaut.
I take back exactly what I just said. No, going to space does not make you an astronaut.
Well, I mean, what else? What is the criteria then? Because I'm thinking that people are being mean to Katy Perry for no real reason.
No, they're not, because she made the whole thing about herself, and it was like she was up there for, I think, like 6 minutes of the 11 minutes that they did the whole flight or whatever.
Right, yeah. Well, listen, no one's saying she went to the moon. She didn't plant the flag on a new planet.
Listen, brother, I can change the toilet at my house. Does not make me a plumber, you know?
But it is a plumbing activity. I mean, I think
does not make you a plumber.
I think that it's a little bit of the same. And also, I think anybody can change a toilet if they have the right opportunity and the right tools. Not everybody can go to space. Katy Perry has been there.
I think that is so disrespectful to, like, astronauts have to train so hard. And I think the idea of an astronaut is maybe not even going to space, because there are so many, quote, astronauts that it takes them years and years and years to finally get up to the International Space Station,
Which
know?
is crazy because, like, Katy Perry made it up there in, like, 6 months. So what are they doing?
If you're rich, you're a passenger. You're not an astronaut.
That's the difference?
That's what it is. Yeah, what, I get on a plane, am I a pilot? Like,
if you're behind the wheel. I would say that if you fly a plane, even just for a brief period of time, you're at the very least somewhat of a pilot.
I think to be an astronaut, you have to go to space, sure, but you have to also do something in space.
Well, she did. She gazed out at the little blue dot that we all live
Singing
on.
What a Wonderful World and holding a flower into a camera. It is not... Dude, that's like how people call like people that work at Subway artists. Like, ha ha ha, I get the joke, but you're not an artist.
Well, you're a sandwich artist. You're a very specific type of artist. So I think maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe that's the key here. If we're not comfortable saying that Katy Perry is an astronaut, maybe we have to say something adjacent. Like she's an astronaut tourist, that sort of thing.
That poor Russian dog did not die in space for Katy Perry to be considered an astronaut.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
I do want to say thank you to everyone who agrees with me that Katy Perry is in fact not an astronaut.
It's so funny to see all these people trying to like insult me, like saying that I'm wrong and that I'm making enemies. Listen, I'm a strong enough man to suffer all the arrows that you people are sending me in search of the truth. I'm the only one with the courage to say what's true, and that's that Katy Perry is an astronaut.
People are literally texting in the definition of astronaut is a person who is trained to travel in a spacecraft.
Oh, so this article that I found at The Independent, one of the better journalism outlets in the UK, that says Katy Perry takes last-minute astronaut lessons before rocket to space, says she'll put the ass in astronaut. That's the definition.
Okay, keywords, last-minute training. Dude, I could go take a karate class today. That doesn't make me a sensei.
No, but it does make you a karate practitioner if you started.
It's like I could go to the gym for a month. I'm not a bodybuilder.
You're not a bodybuilder, but you're lifting weights, which makes you a what? A weightlifter. She trained.
This is a stretch.
She went to space.
This is the biggest stretch of all time.
She went to space. She's an astronaut. The same way David Ayers only played one game in the NHL. He's still an NHL goaltender.
Okay. All right, we're done.
He's still an NHL goaltender, and Katy Perry has only been to space once, and she's an astronaut.
I'm going to bring up David Ayers and Brew in the morning again.
It's a perfect example.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast.
The Brock and Dobby Podcast. $1,000 minutes.
All right now we've got Danica on the phone. Danica, how you doing this morning?
I'm great, thanks. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing good. The robots picked you, and you get a chance to try and win $1,000 this morning. I asked this to everyone, Danica. Would you consider yourself a smart person?
Kind of.
All right, well, we will find out here this morning. You want to just get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get $1,000, Danica. Prove me wrong. That's what I asked today.
Okay, I'll try my best.
All right, I'll count you in here. 3, 2, 1. 138 divided by 2.
Pass.
Capital of Northwest Territories.
Yellowknife.
What is Canada's national sport?
Hockey. Lacrosse.
What is a Homo sapien?
A human.
What planet is known as the blue planet?
Pluto.
Which geometric shape has 4 equal sides?
A square.
Who plays drums in Metallica?
Lars Ulrich.
What religious figure just passed away earlier this week?
The Pope.
How many legs do spiders have?
8.
And how many months are in a year?
12.
Well, I mean, technically you passed.
What was the first question?
138 divided by 2.
69.
All right, we got there. That's good because, I mean, if you pass on a question and you don't make it back to that question, you automatically lose. You cannot go 10 for 10 if you don't have an answer to one of the questions. And that was a weird pass because literally the answer to the first question every day has been 69. So I'm glad that you got there.
I wasn't expecting math right away.
That's fair.
How do you think you did?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like 8 out of 10.
Which question do you think is the most likely that you got wrong?
Oh,
Oh, either the Blue Planet or the Metallica one.
You said Lars Ulrich, and that is the correct answer for the Metallica question. So if that's the one you're most stressed about, Danica, it was the Blue Planet one you should have been worried about.
Dang it! What is the Blue Planet?
It's Earth.
You live on it.
Oh, what? That should be the Green Planet.
Pluto's not even a planet anymore, Danica.
Oh, so close.
Well, it was when I was a kid. I guess I'm old.
9 for 10 you went this morning, but, it's not $1,000, but...
You missed one, and instead of $1,000, we all get a heartbreak.
I really wanted it for you, Danica. I really wanted it for you. I'm sorry.
I really wanted it, too. Okay, well, I'll have to keep trying.
The robots picked you once, maybe they'll pick you again.
Maybe.
All right, have a good day, Danica.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.
Also, first off, I didn't mean to be rude during there.
You openly gasped when she passed.
We have said it numerous times. The first answer is always going to be 69. Okay, so you're guaranteed one. All right?
That's the thing. We bill this as 10 questions, but really it's 9, and then also you have to say 69.
I'm trying to make this as easy as I possibly can, guys, and you're not pulling through. Okay?
We even took out a sports question that we talked about and thought maybe that's too difficult.
People keep getting mad that I put sports questions in, so I took it out.
We took it out to make it even easier. And once again, we are on the cusp of greatness with a 9 out of 10.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
One of the most popular shows on TV right now is The Last of Us, based on the famous PlayStation video game. They are in season 2 now, and they just aired an episode where...
No spoilers, please.
No.
I haven't watched it. Okay.
No spoilers, but I will say they aired an episode where somebody found an old 2003 People magazine, the one with Jennifer Aniston on the cover.
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston posted a screenshot of it to be like, the only thing to survive the apocalypse. Of course it's this. And I was just thinking, I was like, yeah, one day, like if things go south, future generations will be like uncovering our artifacts. What a terrible way to learn about this generation than like dentist office magazines.
Dude, magazines is one thing, but I think the big thing in the future, like if there's an apocalypse or whatever, and someone comes to our planet one day and they're looking for life here, it's gonna be computers.
Yeah.
They're gonna boot up a computer and then they're gonna start looking through people's browser histories and they're gonna be like, what the hell was wrong with this society?
Honest to God, like finding like the things that we've downloaded, like your downloads folder. Honestly, everybody should look in their downloads folder of like the different pictures and stuff you've collected over the years that you maybe don't even remember. Could probably tell a story about you that you're not necessarily comfortable with.
If for some reason the servers for TikTok are still up, they're going to be so confused. Like it's just people doing dances?
All of those videos just living in a cloud or on a server somewhere to be discovered by future generations who will hook up power and get access and be like, finally, we can learn. Like they found the Rosetta Stone of the early 2000s. And they'll just be like, we should have left this buried.
Yeah.
This society deserved to die.
Even if it's like down the road, like your great-great-grandkids or whatever somehow find like your old house or something, they're not going to be able to find like sweet letters or anything. It's just going to be like, you up text?
Right.
Like,
yeah, the way that we found like our grandparents writing wartime romantic letters of like, I can't wait to get home from the front and hold you in my arms again. WYD.
Grandpa's credit card statement. And they're like, what is OnlyFans?
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time to text us now, 762-555. Ask all your questions now, text us Thursday. You can send your questions to us, we'll read it on the radio. Send us your text right now, text us Thursday.
Just stop. Why are you doing this? No one asked for this.
762-555. Ask us your questions now, we'll read them on the radio. Text us Thursday, text us Thursday, text us Thursday.
God. Stop.
Text us.
Stop. Please. Text us. You stop. No more.
I apologize to anyone who knows that song and was instantly triggered. If you don't know that song, consider yourself lucky.
So many texts. Turn that off. Please never again. I swear to God, one text just says.
762-555. Questions, comments, concerns? You can send them all to us, all right?
This man woke up and chose violence today.
First one in here says, do either of you ever get nervous before you go on air?
No, I haven't gotten nervous in a long time. I think the only time I get nervous when I'm going on air is if I know I've lost a bet. Like one of our bets, and I have to do something dumb. That's the only thing I get nervous for.
Yeah, not really nervous. I mean, unless like one of us like messes up or something.
Yeah.
Like pretty hard.
Yeah, I usually go into the show fairly confident because we've been doing this for a long time. Like not bragging.
When technical stuff goes wrong, like, it's not even nerves. It's just more, I guess, frustration.
Yeah, I have worse reactions as opposed to like worry coming into the show.
Yeah. If
something goes wrong, it can ruin my day, but not beforehand.
Someone said, what's something people think is fancy but in reality is trashy?
Listen, I don't want to say this as like a mean thing, but Montana's is not fancy just because you can draw on the tablecloth.
I don't think anyone's ever thought it was fancy.
I've heard people talk about Montana's as like a fancy night out. And listen, I love me some ribs. But the line that we draw, same with like an East Side Mario's, the line we draw for what is and isn't fancy food needs to be adjusted.
You need to slow your old Montana's and East Side Mario's are national treasures. Any place that offers all-you-can-eat options,
they're delicious.
Top
and
tier.
In this economy, all-you-can-eat is great. I'm just saying it's not fancy.
No, sorry, not all of us can eat Wagyu steak like you, rich boy.
I've never eaten Wagyu steak in my life. It does not mix with my tummy.
Someone said, what's an automatic red flag on a first date?
Honestly, the biggest red flag would be like if they're rude to whoever your server is. You know, like
that's one for sure.
Whoever's working your table or whoever's taking your order.
If they bring up their ex or anything about exes during a first date, that's nah.
That's a weird move too. And honestly, if they start talking too far into the future, you know what I mean? Like, we're just getting to know each other. We just met. We don't need to talk about like, where do you want to retire together to? We don't need to talk about what's your dream wedding. Like, just slow down and eat your Wagyu steak.
5-6 years ago, something that used to really chat my ass was when they don't even make the fake offer for the bill.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to at least fake it. You got to be like, are you sure?
The expectation of like, well, we're on a date, so you will be paying for this is just like, well, we both came in here thinking the same thing, but you could do me the dignity of pretending that I'm not paying for your time.
Another one in here is Dalby's real name Dalby? Well, no, it's your last name.
That's my last name. Yeah. My first name is Drew.
Well, your first name is Andrew.
Andrew,
I've never called Dalby Drew. I think maybe one time as a joke.
I don't know under what circumstances you ever would, to be honest. Like, I think even when I first introduced myself to you, I said, hey, I'm Dalby. Like, that's just... When I'm in radio mode, that's who I am. When I'm out and about, I'm Dalby. Everybody calls me that. There's like maybe like a half dozen people in my life that call me Drew, and they're family.
Yeah.
If we're not dating, you don't need to call me Drew.
If you're not family or you're not getting scolded by the government.
Yeah. Well, no, the government says Andrew.
Yeah. Final one here. What is a sound that gives you instant anxiety? I mean, the alarm clock in the morning for sure.
Alarm clock, crying child. Of any age, just I think that comes with being a parent.
I think that, like, as not a parent, it just makes me mad when I hear crying children.
Well, that's just it. If you're not a parent, it's anger. As soon as you become a parent, it's anxiety. And then eventually you just get deaf, and then you're fine.
Yeah, all of that and hearing the Leafs have a 2-goal lead. It stresses me the hell out.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is saccharine. Yep, saccharine. SACCHARINE, saccharine. And anyways, it's overly sweet or sentimental or sugary. I don't know. Sounds kind of like an ass kisser. Or just a really nice person, I guess. Anyways, that's just what does it. Have a great one. Cheers.
Not a sentimental guy, eh?
No. Saccharin. He's very close, but it's saccharin. And yeah, it's just like something that's really overly sweet, overly sugary. Like you could have like a fruit or a candy or something that can be very saccharin, very too much.
After Halloween, the kids are all jacked up on saccharin.
That's right. Oh, those candy bags are way too saccharin.
No more saccharin for you.
Yeah. And then it can also be like really lovey language. Like that's where I hear it the most is you'll see if someone's really laying it on thick, really buttering up. Like
when you're flirting or something.
You're the love of my life. I've never met anybody nearly as good as you.
Saccharin could also be, when you came home late one night and, you're trying to butter up the missus or you're trying to go on that weekend trip with the boys.
Yeah. Honey, listen, let me explain to you why it's a good idea for me and 6 of my male friends to go on a week-long fishing trip. You got to really bring the saccharin language to sell that.
You got to do a little dance I call the Sacharina now. That's what that is.
That's disgusting, and you should be upset with yourself.
Saccharin. Use it wherever you can, all right?
Want to be a part of the podcast?
Leave a message on the Bad Line.
The Bad Line is the answering machine for the Brock and Dalby Show.
To get the number, text the word BAD to 762-555.
Thanks for listening to the Brock and Dalby podcast.